Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we ended up getting a new update in Black Ops 7 with some pretty massive update patch notes, some big surprises included in here as well. Yesterday, Treyarch went through and actually posted a dev talk detailing some of their upcoming plans for some new changes, some new updates to Black Ops 7, and lo and behold, we got a lot of them today. It seemed like they were kind of talking pre-season 1 maybe in like a week or so's time, but instead they went through, and the November 21st update today includes a lot. So let's go through, let's break down everything that was initially updated here, starting first with a global update to Aim Assist. So they say, we intentionally took a big swing with our Aim Assist changes between beta and launch. Now that we've had some time to collect data and feedback, we're making a slight adjustment, as we do with all aspects of gameplay over time, to hit the targets and address the wide range of feedback. Black Ops 7 launched with a new right stick aim requirement for achieving maximum rotational aim assist. When the right stick is not used or is not tracking a target effectively, players now experience a minimum rotational aim assist strength. At launch, the minimum rotational aim assist was 35% reduction from the beta. Our goal for this new mechanic and our other aim assist range changes is to provide the most competitive experience for all players. This slightly overshot our balance target, so we're making a small tuning adjustment to that minimum aim assist. Aim assist is one of the most integral components of gameplay feel, so it's crucial for us to settle on tuning that both feels great to play with and hit our balance goals. As always, we'll monitor this, so now this penalty has been reduced from 35% to 25%, so there is slightly stronger aim assist in Black Ops 7 as of today with this update. We also got our very first meta update for Black Ops 7 with some weapon tuning. So they say we're pushing an early round of weapon tuning that aims to address some common pieces of feedback. The main areas are SMG balance, particularly in relation to rifles. SMGs feel really underpowered, basically. Most of the changes today aim to reduce the versatility of some of the highest performing ARs and improve the mid-range on some subs. You can find more details below. Aside from the SMGs, we have a handful of other individual and prestige attachment adjustments. In general, we really like the class variety that we've been seeing so far, and this is just the start. So with rifles, these are receiving a small flinch nerf so that they flinch harder than SMGs. It's not a huge adjustment, as we also don't want to introduce lucky headshots into full auto gunfights. This flinch increase is small enough that it may affect players aiming for headshots that are not well centered, but still not force most torso shots into headshots. So with weapon class adjustments, they all received flinch increased basically here. And then we got some individual weapon updates. The mod, which has been going crazy in game, has a close range damage nerf, but a range buff, and then a mid-range damage nerf and a long range damage nerf. So the mod is worse across the board in terms of damage now, but has a better initial range. They also nerfed the sprint to fire time, the tac sprint to fire time, movement speed was reduced, crouch movement speed reduced, sprinting movement speed reduced, ADS or strafe speed reduced, increased first shot recoil, and view strength or view kick strength. So the mod gets a nerf across the board. That's probably deserved. It was easily the best rifle in the game. The AK-27 was another AR that was more versatile than we'd like. Our intent for this one is to have a quicker TTK for the class, but with the trade-off of high horizontal recoil as well as slower handling and mobility. We're pushing the handling and mobility penalties further and introducing more initial vertical recoil before it clamps. The damage and range adjustments reduced some of the mid-range headshot potential, and then introduced some additional damage fall off at long range. So here, the mid-range damage is worse, but the range is slightly better there. Tac sprint to fire is worse. Sprint to fire is worse, slide to fire is worse, movement speed is worse, crouch movement speed is worse, ADS strafe is worse, then increase the first shot recoil, slightly increased vertical climb. Keep in mind, by the way, as we're going through these various updates to the weapons, the different gameplay changes that they've introduced today, a lot of pretty surprising stuff for sure. If you guys enjoy the video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure you are always in the know for everything going on in COD, so you can stay in the know with the latest news and updates like this when they completely come out of nowhere, what's upcoming and everything going on in game. Of course, we'll be breaking down loadouts for the rifles, the SMGs in the coming days and weeks. So stay tuned for all that. Hit that subscribe button, and of course, turn on those post notifications if you're interested. Next up here, MXR 17, slide to fire time was increased, ADS movement speed was reduced. The Maverick, they say SMGs are receiving similar buffs across the board. Baseline, they're all receiving an improvement to their final damage range to add a handful of meters in their mid-range power. In addition, multiple attachments are receiving substantial improvements to their damage range traits. Our goal here is to help SMGs contend more with ARs effectively out in medium ranges, but also requires some build investment to do especially well. We still want players to make some choices between creating an ultra fast SMG build and those that have higher range capabilities, but gunfighters shouldn't be a requirement. Similarly, the rear grip attachments that improve recoil are seeing a buff. There's a tough handling trade-off when taking that recoil, so we felt there was room to push that further. A few of these SMGs are receiving additional baseline improvements too. Overall, we think this will give SMGs a more solid footing in Black Ops 7. We'll continue to fine-tune. Why is this on the Maverick? I'm confused. The Maverick's a rifle. Why are they talking about this here? Anyways, I think their formatting is messed up here because we also have AK-20. What if I refresh this page? Nope, it's still just bugged. So I'm assuming that these adjustments are for the X9 Maverick. The close range damage is nerfed, and then they also did some torso updates here too. Neck, upper torso, upper arm multiplier is now slightly better, 1.05 as opposed to 1. Sprint to fire time increase, tac sprint increase, slide to fire increase, ADS movement speed reduced. On the Mirage, just handling adjustments here, sprint to fire nerf, tac sprint nerf, ADS movement speed nerf. Now, SMGs, okay. So this paragraph that we just read with the Maverick, just apply it to the general SMGs now. I'm not sure how that ended up here. I assume basically they wanted the X9 Maverick worse at close range because it was competing too well against SMGs, and that makes sense. But SMGs now here, they overall have their flinch reduced. The received flinch has been reduced a little bit. On the Raiden 45K, better mid-range damage range now. ADS speed buff, slightly reduced the gun kick and slightly reduced view kick. We also see a bunch of attachment updates here. Damage range improvements to the whiptail and the Vienna barrels. We get better control on the skeletonized grip and on the bounty grip. Then on the agile laser, better damage range as well. RK9 mid-range buff there, and then same deal, damage range improvements and then recoil improvements to various different attachments. On the Razor, mid-range buff as far as the range goes, slightly reduce the view kick and the gun kick there, and then damage range and control improvements on the various attachments. On the Dravik mid-range buff, it's basically just a copy and paste. Carbon mid-range buff as well, reduced view kick, then same attachment adjustments, better damage range, better control on some of those. Then on the MPC or the MSMC, better mid-range damage, and then also slide to fire improved, dive to fire, ADS improved as well, reduced gun kick and view kick, and then attachments are going to be more impactful there. I actually really like a lot of those updates to the SMGs. That's going to definitely make them more versatile. We then got the Marksmans. The Warden and the Nova line are both very high power precision weapons that we see doing very well. Our sentiment here is the same as the Maverick in that we're excited to have Marksmans in the mix. We want to keep it that way. For now, we want to make sure there's some counterplay to these weapons though, and that playing aggressively with them requires attachment investment, upping the flinch they receive, and hitting the handling and mobility is the approach that we're taking for that. So on the Warden, they say this is losing the one-shot potential to the upper arms. We don't want to touch the upper torso one-shot as that's important for viability. Given how quick it fires though, we think it's fair to have good centering as a requirement. So upper arm multipliers are removed, sprint to fire increase, tac sprint increase, ADS increase, movement speed reduced, ADS movement speed reduced, flinch increased as well. And then the Artemis barrel no longer improves lower arm multipliers. And then on the Nova line, basically just movement nerfs across the board on that. On the LMGs here, the MK78 ADS time improved, love to hear that. And then on the belt fed mag, we saw some frustrations with the overheating prestige attachment. We've updated the overheat tuning so the weapon fires longer before overheating and it cools faster there, so that's good news. Then the XM325 ADS buff as well, only by 10 milliseconds though. Then on pistols with the Jaeger, we've redesigned the prestige barrel to have a slower rate of fire but much higher base damage and range. The new tuning draws inspiration from the skull splitter on the 9mm PM and BO6 if you of course used that. So if you're using the special barrel for prestiging here, then the damage is better up close. And then again, they've reduced the headshot multiplier, fire rate reduced, sprint to fire penalty reduced, ADS speed kick penalty reduced, gun kick penalty reduced there too. On the VLOX, the pistols in BO7 are intentionally stronger than last year. We want them to feel more viable. The VLOX 1 burst in close range was too strong though, so it's going to require a 1 headshot hit to have a 1 burst up close basically, and they've adjusted the damage ranges or laid those out there essentially. Then we get to general multiplayer updates. Increased viewable minimap area, an additional 10% on top of the previous 15% increase. Field upgrades, drone pod increase the drone pod charge time, good. Reduce the drone pod active drone duration, great. Reduce the drone pod damage, also fantastic. I hate that streak, so really glad that that's our field upgrade rather. It feels like a streak, right? Great to see there. Very excited about that nerf. Score streaks hand cannon increase the ammo there and reduce the ammo for the extended mag option. LDBR increase the missile count for the LDBR second strike overclock as well. Adjusted some spawns in free-for-all with some challenges. Change the following camo requirement. Kills Kills on enemies affected by your tactical is now kill enemies affected by your tactical or non-lethal score streak. So that's way easier now. If they show up on a UAV, you're good to go. They also fixed an issue with the popcorn medal not being awarded. And we got various crashing instability updates like always. Then in zombies here, they updated some Ashes of the Damned issues, reduced the difficulty of the boss fight. This was a big conversation that they talked about in their dev talk yesterday. So the Horde Husk will regenerate after a minute of collection and give more health. Missiles have reduced effectiveness. Interrupting the beam attack no longer reduces the cooldown. Reduced damage to passengers riding Old Tessie and removed repair cooldown. Increased the cooldown on the bosses ramming Old Tessie. And Zerso no longer spawn in solos before round 100. With gameplay here, they closed a couple of exploits there. UI adjusting a rare issue when entering Old Tessie that could cause, you have to say it like that, that could cause the HUD to refresh or the boss to spawn without a health bar. With challenges, increase the amount of deadwire ammo kills required to unlock the Pathfinder camo on the Mirage. Then also change the following camo requirements. Get kills shortly after using a field upgrade is getting kills while using a field upgrade or while it's active. And then various crash and stability updates have also been added in here. Then co-op, campaign, and endgame. Endgame's available for everyone who owns Black Ops 7. You don't need to play the campaign to get it first. You can just play it right away. And they address some issues with attachments not loading into the match. So a big surprise update here. Pretty substantial change to the weapon balance and everything. Rifles will be a little bit worse. SMGs will be a little bit better, which should be good for versatility. And aim assist updates too, alongside a bunch of bug fixes. So, hey, that's going to wrap things up for this one. Definitely hopefully an impactful update here for the better. We'll have to see once we get hands-on gameplay and really get some testing under our belts there. But if you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out to guarantee you're always in the know for everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.